Hey, fantastic fam! Welcome to our community where we combine the woo and the work. We are two professional women who believe we can have it all and constantly upgrade ourselves to meet our visions. I'm Kalyani and I've chosen the off-roading path to personal development, being an entrepreneur with the journey of motherhood. I'm an economics postgraduate and I love working with all things mind and money. I've founded and sold one business and I'm now building this business that feels like fun and freedom for life.
Hi, I'm Rupali. I'm a numbers nerd turned Reiki master and many other things. I found a passion for all things wellness. I've worked in banking and finance for 15 years and I love combining that knowledge with all things energetics to create impact in a fun, easy way for others. Join us as we share the behind the scenes of us creating wealth, freedom and magic. Hi everyone. Today's episode is inspired by a comment that someone made recently, and the comment was that nobody has money. And this got me thinking as to, I was a bit surprised that people hold such a belief. So I thought I'd come on here and provide a framework as to how to overcome such a belief, as I've since realized that it's a more common belief than I thought so, at least. So I think a good starting point is if you find yourself thinking that way, that nobody has money, then the question to ask yourself is that belief helping you in any way? And is that belief something you would like to retain and keep? If not, then please listen to what I'm about to say. And if you would like to retain it and keep it because it feels like it serves you, then feel free to skip this episode. A few things that you can do is, firstly, be very super clear as to what about this belief is not helping you. Uh, what do you dislike about it, and how do you think this belief plays a role in your day-to-day life? Secondly, I would encourage you to just reflect on, where does this belief come from? Is it from situations you've experienced? Is it from conversations you've had with people that you've been with or been around, from friends, family, from the past? It could be a situation in your childhood where parents may have said very frequently that we don't have the money, no one has money, this is expensive, no one has money. Is it from there? Is it from a time when you wanted something and your parent told you something like that? Is it from a time when friends have, had experiences that made you feel that nobody has money through their experiences? So it's always good to understand, where does this belief come from? After you do that, you'll be able to firstly understand yourself slightly better and reflect on circumstances that have shaped your life. Secondly, what I always encourage people to do is really question that belief. So let's find, it's a 360 way of interpreting and understanding that belief. The first thing to do is, what's the proof for it? So what makes this belief true? Is there any proof that you have that proves it true? So, for example, people in your, maybe someone in your circle has said, no, I don't have money. Maybe you felt in certain situations you've not had money. Maybe if you're working in a sales related job, maybe you've seen people saying, oh, I don't have money for this. Maybe colleagues have made comments like that. Maybe you've seen people not being able to buy certain things, and that's made you think that, okay, this kind of validates that belief. So really think about 5 situations that make this belief true. And if not 5, I would even encourage 10, because 10 is a really good number to really get to the root of things. So write down maybe 10 points, but at least 5. Then secondly, let's reflect on what makes this belief incorrect. And situations that make it incorrect, you'd have to look around you, think about what proves it wrong. What's the evidence that you have that makes it incorrect? So, for example, When you're going to the mall, you see people buying lots of things. When you go to the mall and you walk around the luxury shops, have a look and see the people that are buying these bags, walking around with these bags that they've just paid for. Then look around. If you see a bank nearby, look at the amount of cash that's being processed. Then look at, the phone industry, look at the stock market, look at Apple, for example. Think about how many people around you use the phone Apple as an example. Or look around you, and come up with examples of people that may be using luxury items, maybe gold, maybe luxury brands. Maybe you see people that are spending in your circle that you feel like, oh my goodness, they have too much money, no one has such money. Use that person as an example to prove to you that that belief is incorrect. Because if one such other person exists that can and that does have money, then that makes that belief that you have nobody has enough money incorrect, because you in your surrounding you're seeing people that do have money. Lastly, if you don't have too many people in your circle, if you're living in an, amongst people that have a lot more lack, that don't have, financial resources, and you're struggling to prove this belief wrong, look around on YouTube. Look at people's lifestyles. Look at the private jets people fly in. Look at the success stories we see around us in different types of businesses. Look at the success stories in celebrities. Now, I'm not saying all of these things are always true. And I understand that some people believe that media does reflect on certain things in a way that may not be completely true. So I'm not saying it's all what you see online is always true, but these are ways to prove to yourself that money does exist. People do have money. People are spending money, because that essentially tells you that your belief of nobody has money is factually incorrect, because there are people that do have money. So I think that's what you're trying to do. Then, since you know, the reason why you're listening this far into the episode is because you've decided that this belief doesn't serve you. It's not something you want. So, is there a way that you can change this belief? How do you change this belief? Let's play with this concept. So, you've validated the belief, then you've proved it wrong in different ways. 10 points each, right? 10 lists, a list of 10 items each that you've made. So that's your proof for and against it. Now, in your day-to-day life, I think that it's about noticing more of what you've said proves that people do have money. So look around you. When you're driving to your office, look at the cars people are driving. Look at the clothes people are wearing. If you're in your neighborhood walking around, look at, what people are using, what cars they're driving, and what cars are in their driveway, what people are buying online. Your friends, your family, play with this concept and really, look for these things in day to day, and you'll see so much more of it than you initially thought, because you've just somewhat broken or somewhat dissembled this belief of why is it true, why is it not true. So you'll naturally be able to see a little more of why it isn't true. Then I think beyond in your day-to-day life, seeing these kind of proofs, it's also about making a list of everyday gratitude. At the end of the day, you thank the universe, thank God, whatever you believe in. Write a list of 5 things that you're genuinely grateful for. And the reason why you do that is to change the vibration that you're living. Because if you're constantly focused on not having enough money, people not having enough money, that's all you'll see. So we are trying to create new neural pathways, ways to see things a bit differently. And one critical aspect of this is gratitude. So 5 points on what you're grateful for in your day-to-day life. That could be just being able to walk around, using your legs. Many people cannot walk. So just being mobile. Maybe it's that yummy cup of coffee that you enjoy in the morning. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's the house that you live in. Maybe it's living to see another day. Maybe it's driving around freely. Maybe it's having a job that brings you money to be able to do things that you like and to live. Maybe it's about your friends. Maybe it's about just looking around you and looking at the greenery around you. There's so many ways that you could actually, uh, you know, so many things you could be grateful for. And then lastly, I think a very, very important part of the piece of the whole puzzle is to rewrite how you talk and think. So redoing or kind of changing the way you think, a big part of that is gratitude, a big part of that is noticing more of abundance around you. But it's also to change the way you talk. And so if you often find yourself saying nobody has money, then catch yourself in that moment and see, oh, right, oops, make it a game. Oops, haha, I've said that again. And what would you like to replace that with? What would you like to replace that with? You don't have to be false and fake and say everyone has money and I'm a billionaire suddenly, because your nervous system won't accept that statement. So what is it that could work for you? What feels like it's not incorrect, but feels lighter in your body? What statement feels lighter? Nobody has money is such a heavy statement. So what feels lighter? What feels better for you? Is it something like people do have money? Some people do have money, and I can too. Is it something along the lines like, oh, I had the money to do 1, 2, 3, 4 today? Is it something, play with the words, see what resonates with you the most. The most important part of this is to really take what works for you and not necessarily copy what others say, because words have energy and we all process energy in different ways. So really play with this concept and think about what is it that resonates most with you, what feels good. Even just reminding yourself when you say, "Oh, nobody has money," and you catch yourself saying that, then remind yourself of one or two of the things you were grateful for. Oh, I'm so grateful I got this cup of coffee this morning. I'm so grateful for my um, me being able to buy certain things, do certain things. I'm so, we all have stuff to be grateful for, but I think the survival brain, the mechanism in our brains, force us to think of stuff that we don't have. So really think about it and think about what you're grateful for and use that, play with that. So I'm going to wrap this episode up here, but I hope this gives you a really good idea as to whether you like thinking and feeling the way you do, and if not, then a few kind of pointers as to how you could do more with it. So yeah, good luck. Play with it. Let us have your thoughts as to how you've experienced it. Play with this concept for 2-3 weeks. See how it changes things for you in your reality. And while I believe that manifestation in the way people use it can be a little woo-woo, if you try these techniques, you automatically see things change around you. That's what manifestation is. It's not just closing your eyes and falsely believing that the whole world is going to change from tomorrow. You'll notice these subtleties, and a year later you'll notice your life has really changed through these little changes throughout the year. So yeah, thank you for listening, and share this with anyone that you feel may resonate.
We would really appreciate your feedback as reviews on the podcast app you tune in from. Support us also by sharing this podcast with 3 of your besties who would benefit from being fantastic.